Makerere University, also known as the Hill of Intellectuals, stands tall on Makerere Hill. With several illegal entries, unrestricted entry at the legal gates, and huge number of students, staff, and merchandise vendors, it's not only tricky but almost impossible to differentiate who is inside the university campus legally and who is idling. The university has got 3 main gates, upon whose entry there are no checkpoints to restrict idlers and criminals from flooding into the university premises. It's among the many criminals that flood into the university through the illegal routes and exploiting of the opportunity of the unrestricted entry that Conmen are cited. Despite the erected measures such as installation of CCTV cameras, police patrol, and construction of a perimeter wall, Conmen have remained a threat to the students and the community at large. Mazak Bernard, an investigative officer at Makerere Police Station, who was only deployed a year ago, has managed to prosecute up to 10 cases of conmen, 5 of whom have been convicted. As an investigator, also writing a comprehensive report about conmen around the university, Officer Zak says they register about 5 to 10 cases of conmen on a daily basis.
At least every day, you register 5 to 10 cases here of conmen, but of different form. So far, we have taken over 10 cases to court with 5 convictions.
The Senate building harbors a common ground around which conmen hang most, especially during the busy days of applying to the university by the new students. Despite the presence of a CCTV camera right in front of the building, many innocent freshmen and women have fallen victims of conmen in front of this building. One of the people that faced the disastrous effect of conmen is Faith Okwir, a student and resident at Mary Stuart Hall. In a narrated story, Faith believes her psychological tormentors used the power of magic to con her of her property. On the fateful day, Faith had run into unknown men at her hall of residence entrance, who after a few minutes of conversing had under unclear circumstances made a piece of paper disappear in her body. Believing she was under some influence of powers, Faith had collected her gadgets plus those of her friends and handed them over to the 2 gentlemen.
He asked me, do you have a laptop? What? I told him I don't have. Then he was like, okay, this is what you're going to do. You're going to bring laptops or phones. Then I was like, I can't get laptops, but I can get phones. So I went to my room and asked my roommate. He asked the other guy to push me. So the guy stopped down and me, I went up to my room. So I asked my roommate for a phone. She had an iPhone 7 Plus. Yeah, then I went to the next room. Actually, my other roommate's twin sister, she gave me her Techno, then my OG gave me a Samsung plus mine. So I took the phones to them. Actually, I came down, met the guy, and went back to the other guy.
Harriet Tico, a psychological and support services officer of the MasterCard Foundation under Makerere University program, speaks of the same trick that Faith fell victim to. Some people, she says, disguise into being fortune tellers, and by use of some magical powers, they make a piece of paper disappear into the bodies of their prey and have to pay a fortune to take it out.
This man started, how do they call that? Giving her revelations, how her enemies are doing this, and then claimed her body is full of things. There's pepper in her body, there's, Now this girl got terrified, but the beauty is, don't worry, you'll be healed. You need to bring, all these gadgets that, your friends are using these gadgets to put things in you. Now, she went to the hostel. She picked her laptop. She even picked her friend's laptop and then brought them over to these people, including her phones.
Since she handles a program that caters for the brilliant but less privileged, Mrs. Tico says conmen take chance of less exposure of such students to confuse them. Most of the MasterCard Foundation beneficiaries are from upcountry and urban rural areas. Because of their little exposure, Mrs. Tiko says many have fallen victims.
Most of our students come from rural areas. Even if they're coming in the urban areas, they are the urban poor. So that alone, the level of exposure is a little bit wanting. Yeah, a little bit wanting. So that could be one reason why many of them fall victims.
Prone to the trick of the old man seeking sympathy is one to Haise Rose, a student residing at Garden Courts Hostel. Just like Mrs. Tiko explained, Rose fell victim of the old man trick. After much pleading and portrayal of desperation by the old man, she was betrayed by her sympathy.
I met an elderly man, so he told me to direct him around Chikon there, that there are some offices of some organization. Okay, I don't remember the name of the organization because I think they forge the names of organizations even when they are not in existence. He was like, do you have a bank account? I think that's how they wanted now to get the bank account. Because me, I want us to show each other the documents and the likes. Then me, I leave you with my money, I go. When I reach, I'll leave you with my number, then you send for me the money because I fear to travel with it. I told them I use DFCU Bank. Do you have this card which they use in the machine? You put in, then you get money. I was like, yeah, I have it. Because I really want you to remain with my money because I feel insecure to go to travel along with it back to home. Then they asked me the what? The PIN number. I told him. So I came, I put my laptop there and I took it. In its bag. The ATM was in the bag. And then, because I wanted to keep connection of what is going around, I went with my phone. So the phone was in the laptop bag, plus the what? Plus the laptop and plus 50k, plus my flash. So it was 16 GB and it had all my data for school. So we reached there. So when we reached, I was like, oh, you're the other ones. And he saw all the things. He was like, now you know what? These men who are in the offices, that is the building. That building we are looking at, like it was a bigger distance, like from here to that hostel you are seeing there, Kari. So he was like, those are the offices. So for us, we want to first reach there. And we hide this thing. The other thing I explained to you, the glass kind of test tube, which had in the address of those people. They gave me that thing, that test tube, now in the envelope. But I had seen that, okay, it wasn't the what? It wasn't the test tube. They had put a candle in the envelope. So they gave me the candle, that envelope, that for you remain with it. We first go to the offices and we confirm, are they sure they are giving us the money? Are they sure they are giving us this and this? Are they sure they are the ones? But for you remain with it. Because that thing is as if it was the main instrument, as to, like they will get a reward because of that instrument. So if I had to remain with it, it's as if we had put them in a given way so that they had to really give out the money. So this one is as if it is their security, which has brought them actually right from home. Yeah. So in a way, he saw it as if things were true. So they were like, you remain with it. So when I remained with it, they moved. I looked at them, I looked at the border getting actually over, like now it reached a time when I could no longer see them. So I realized I think they were Conmen. So after some time my mind started resettling. I'm like, when my mind started resettling, I'm like, aren't these Conmen where they didn't stop at the office I saw. So I tried to follow, but by the time I followed, they had already like gone ahead.
Okay, so what do you make of it? What was your reaction after that?
Okay, I lost my senses for some good time. I think along that road I was unconscious for some time when I realized that. Because before the moment they had traveled some bigger distance, I realized the envelope they had given me, what was inside was not the other glass they gave me, it was a candle. So that candle was exactly in the same shape as the other thing, except the material. I first remembered how I explained to them how I have a bank account, the ATM, and I even remembered later that the ATM is not in the bag, even plus the pin. So I went I went very fast at some DFCU branch to check whether there is my money. But by the time this askar helped me to call at the branch, or those branch managers, they found they had withdrawn everything. Okay, it was 700 only, yeah? Uganda shillings. So they had withdrawn and they had left only something like 3K. Yeah.
In a bid to help the old man to recover his bulky cash into Rose's account, Rose lost 700,000 Ugandan shillings and a phone together with a laptop. Amidst several security measures to curb crime of the sort, blockage of several illegal routes has been embarked by the university. Several CCTV cameras have also been installed at the campus, and the construction of a perimeter wall has also been put into force. However, some illegal routes remain hanging in open, which has made the issue almost inevitable. As police, Officer Zach says it's very hard to seize the problem of conmen since there are no active checkpoints at the university gates where only concerned individuals can have access to the university premises, just like it is in other universities.
Where do they get in from?
These people, they just come here. They walk around the university like other people. See, the problem Makerere University is also having is that there are very many access. Any person can enter within Makerere University. And you don't know whether the person is a student, is a resident of Makerere University, as EOC come for on appointment or not. You don't know. See, and that's one of the that one we have already written it to post its test to discuss with the administration. It was like in other universities, like you see, you don't enter there and you don't have ID.
IDs, wow. Yeah. At least I know, right?
You don't enter, when you're a student, you must display your ID. Staff, they know them.
Yeah.
When you are a visitor, you register at the gate. So and so from this place, this is my ID, I'm going to this office, or I want to see this person.
The officer, well conversant with the nature of conmen, believes not only students fall victim of such scenarios, but the university staff too are prone. To more amusement, the rising allegation that some conmen are in connection with the university staff was mind-blowing. Wang Daniel and Ochan George were not spared despite the fact that they are visually impaired. Riding on the opportunity of their visual disability, David, George, and other disabled colleagues were altogether conned about 150,000 Uganda shillings the day they visited the Senate building to follow up on their admission letters. A gentleman whom they suspect to be conniving with some people within the Senate had promised to register them easily so that they should not go through the hassle of queuing for long hours when the semester opens.
We met a gentleman, of course, you know, when you are frustrated, you come and you are disappointed, even the face changed. So I think the man studied our faces that said these people might be having some trouble. He made it so hard that we did not realize that he's not a bad man.
He's not a con man.
A con man. So, for us, we walked down there and said, let me first do one thing. Let me organize your document and give it to you. He organized everything and he gave it to us. He said, if you have the money, let me go and pay. So, but we didn't have the money at hand. What we came with was just transport and some small amount of money just to buy some snacks on the way. So we called back home and I said we came here and we bought the admission. There was a guy who helped us to get it, though it was not ready. So he suggested that he can even help us to register as well. I said, hey, that's okay, you know. We didn't know how the system here works. So we called Tom and they sent for us the money for registration. We gave, but we did not have like small notes. So we gave him 150. He said, let me go and pay the money. He went to he told us that he was going to the Stanbic Bank to pay. After paying, then he will take us to the college where we are supposed to go and register from. So, but he went. We waited for an hour. He was not coming. Then I said, I told one among us there was the man called Kaka. I said, Kaka, couldn't this man be a con man? I said, no, let's first wait. We waited for 30 minutes. He was not coming. I said, are you seeing anyone around? Where is Stanbic Bank? Because we did not know where Stanbic Bank was. What? The man said, trying to allocate straight. The man walked that way. He passed through that between that Senate building, and he went down. He said, could you try to follow? He went and he could not see anybody. And here is new. You could not even see them. The campus did not have very many people. People were at home. It was during the holiday. There were only staff members around, and some few people were working. So the man left, and he said, could we go back there and check? He said, even if we had to go back there, we might not get any clear information. Maybe the other lady thought that was just our helper.
The man had played sympathetic to the 4 helpless, disabled young men, but at last, he had conned them of every single penny they had. But the amusement does not end on this. Mrs. Tico says the modern and trendy method of conning is the pyramid tactic, where smart intellectuals, in a manner that appears to be legal, con students huge sums of money. Promising them the fast riches, the tricksters and the perpetrators ride on the desperation of students for money and jobs to con every penny of them. One of the beneficiaries of the MasterCard Foundation program had fallen victim to this.
One of our students who actually eventually lost the scholarship was called by somebody who claimed to have been working for AfriCell. He said he had an AfriCell number but was only using it for data, was not using it for calling anybody else. So when this call came, for him it was very genuine because his friends according to him, don't know this number. So he picked the call, and then they say you have won this amount of money, and then you have won actually a car, a Harrier, but to receive your gifts, we need to open a PIN for you. You should have what we call a PIN code. He said yes. And then the next instruction was to open a PIN code for you. You need to send 300,000 to this account. So he sent, and then he was waiting. 3 days after, they called and congratulated him, saying, we have opened the first PIN code, we now need to open the next one. He ended up giving 300,000 3 times, that's 900,000 to these people. 2 weeks after, he's not been called to pick his gifts. Then he knew now something was wrong. Now, another time he was called, he just told them, I know you have conned me, but thank you.
A better understanding of why the challenge has failed to be dealt with by the university, we laced up our boots and headed for the main building where most of the university administrators reside. In this case, the person that heads the University Communications and International Relations, Dr. Muhammad Chigundu Musoke, had this to say about Conmen.
How severe is this problem of Conmen at Makerere?
I think what I can say, Makerere is an open place. And being open and there are no checkpoints, we still have this problem of the Conmen because they just walk in. So it's still a big problem, especially at the time of the admissions. So I cannot deny that it's not a problem because they walk around, and we've been trying and we're still trying. But because the university is an open place, so people just walk in and they take the advantage of access to the premises, which is still very, very dangerous.
How are the university managed to solve it?
There are measures that have been put in place. Like we normally announce the students that they should not get in touch with anybody who is not an official of the university. Two, we clearly indicate the offices that are supposed to be in charge of handling, say, the applications and any information that the student may require if they want to join the university. And three, that when these people who want information come, they are received by the offices that are that are clearly indicated, because we go ahead and we indicate this information in the adverts that are sent out. So in that regard, those are the measures that we have.
But with all the increasing security measures, conmen remain a huge threat to Makerere University. The commonly used tricks, as listed by various individuals, are use of former students, magical powers, old age man seeking sympathy, new age pyramid, one seeking help about directions, asking for a phone to make a phone call, among others. As time unfolds, shall the university finally kick out conmen? According to police, the problem can greatly be tackled through community policing, which is yet to be introduced in the university.
We also discussed the OC station to do community policing in all of residents and colleges.
It is a matter of waiting that only one can find answers to this. Abraham Nashanga and Ejor Ambrose.